Mike's Daily Podcast.
I don't know what I did with my mobile phone. Oh, I left it in the bathroom at Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Welcome to the last place on earth. Today, we hear from wonderful people that will stop by and visit me, Mike Matthews. We'll hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, and get to some
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Interesting texts that I received to help me with my splinter problem that I talked about last show.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I am the splinter. I'm the real thing. That was my little REM reference. Did you know that song? Were you a fan of REM? Did you look at the videos by them and go, oh wow, they do some bizarre videos. It's not the end of the world.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
As we know it. No, it's not. It's gonna be a good day. And though the Russians
Mike's
might be
Daily
making some preparations
Podcast
for whatever Trump's got in mind.
Yeah!
Don't worry about it. Because I have remedies for if you have a splinter in your finger. A fan of the show, a new fan of the show said, let's see, here is it a wooden splinter? Yes, it is. If so, do not soak in water, as this will cause offending splinter to swell and make it harder to remove. Ah, that makes sense. Look who walked in. Hi, Mike. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How you doing?
It's a disgruntled fiddle player. Tell you what.
What?
I think whatever Trump has in mind, I think it's going to be great. And everything's going to be good. So I'm going to eat my apple now.
All right. He's calm and collected. Look who else walked in.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. I'm the brewmaster. Oh, boy. Why don't you have some right now as I pour it?
Thank you. I'll have a little bit. Much later when he's not watching, I'm going to pour it down the drain in the bathroom where my smartphone is. Speaking of which, there are some other tips that I got through my Costco magazine from 2 years ago. I was on my...
And here's today's podcast picture.
What I like to do, because I don't like to use up all my phone power, my battery power, is when I'm on the BART. The podcast picture, by the way, is a picture taken of me. I think every 4 pictures I throw a picture of me up on mikesdailypodcast.com and all the social media I'm on. And this picture features me and Basil the Boxer. And this was taken actually in sequence of the other 2 pictures that I posted of Benicia and Commodore Point. And it was so beautiful there on Sunday. And there was this nice couple that was asking me all about Basil and what kind of a boxer he is and what are boxers like in general and all this and what's that color. Everybody wants to know what the brindle coloring is. What causes that? What causes the stripes? I'm like, I don't know. I've never seen that before. No, brindle dogs are all over the place. There's brindle boxers, brindle pit bulls, brindle greyhounds. There are brindle mixes mixed with other dogs. Brindle pops up all over in the canine kingdom. But Basil, there in this picture with me, taken by this wonderful guy that took this picture with my smartphone. And speaking of which, there's some great tips that I pulled from this Costco magazine. I won't give this guy credit. All right, Mark Saltzman. He writes the Tech Connection article. Although he looks probably a little bit older than most Tech Connection type people you would see on TV. It's always some young kid. Or on the radio, it's always some young kid. Mark Zuckerberg had a lot to say in front of the House of Representatives yesterday. And let's take a look. And somebody was pointing out to me that listens to a lot of NPR that nowadays people are a little more microphone conscious So they get right up on the microphone and they'll talk softer because they've been listening to a lot of This American Life, and they talk really softly and monotone. There's this one girl that's on NPR that talks like this, and she's really low like that when she talks. It's all mic technique. Like Mike Matthews is grabbing the microphone, and maybe you can hear that going thump, thump, thump. But the point is, Mark Saltzman, who seems to know his stuff, says it has some great suggestions. For one thing, when you're taking pictures of people, unless you're posting it straight to Instagram, where this does not work, but generally you should turn the phone sideways, landscape, horizontal, because when you see that picture later on your computer screens now are letterbox size, like the old movie style, and whatever they call that ratio. I don't remember numbers. I hate numbers. Numbers offend me in every way. But hey, here's one idea: is turn the phone horizontal, so you get that horizontal landscape look. It'll look beautiful and huge on a screen. That and let's say you look at it on your flat screen TV, it'll be huge. So try that. Unless you're posting to Instagram. Instagram is designed to be on the length with the vertical. The way your phone usually is when you're taking a picture. That's why Instagram is very friendly to your phone, because it's owned by Mark Zuckerberg, and Zuckerberg is all about easy access and everyone having access to each other, access to our information, so that we're sharing, and it's an open platform for information. Jesus. I think we've heard enough of Zuckerberg, haven't we? Get up close and personal is the other suggestion, Mark Saltzman says. Get up. Don't take it from a distance. If you see a cow right there, get up close to the cow. Oh, be careful, though. It's a mad cow. It's got mad cow disease. Look out. But yeah, get close in. Get a little bit closer. Use the light around you and try and avoid the flash. Flash just never, no matter who. Sometimes it's necessary, but try and use that natural light. If the sun is out, be sure your back and not your subject's is to the sun, or the subject will look like a blacked out silhouette. The hour before and after sunset creates gorgeous light for photos, as you know. The golden moment. That's the magic moment. They've used it for years in the movie biz. And then you can, this says be a human tripod. If you can help it, don't hold your phone at arm's length when taking photos. You'll probably shake the phone more than you think, that results in blurry images. Instead, turn yourself into a human tripod by holding the camera with both hands, holding the phone with both hands and pulling your arms into your chest or stomach. You might look a little silly, but you'll see the difference with your sturdier grip. And position for composition. Instead of placing your subject in the center, everybody puts everybody in the center of the photo. Put them off to the side. It makes your photos instantly more powerful and beautiful. Go in on an angle to add extra energy. I met someone, I think late last year, I was at Half Moon Bay with Basil the Boxer, and I asked someone, hey, can you take a picture of Basil and I? And she put the photo at an angle, and it's one of the best photos ever taken of Basil and I. And you can see that photo. Actually, it's one of the photos that you'll see in the banner section of Mike'sDailyPodcast.com, where you can also help out the show through the PayPal, Mike'sDailyPodcast.com, and catch all the past shows and read the blog, the bloggity blog. And also, you can have fun with filters now. Phone cameras have gotten really big with the filters, as you know. You can make, what do you call them, avatars and everything else. And so, and then back up. No, not, you should get close to your subject, but back up the memory, back up the data. Put it in the cloud, but a secure cloud, so no one hacks the pictures of you that you don't want people to see. But yeah, put it on a external hard drive, something, flash drive. But those were some great tips, and usually bring a bunch of papers that I haven't read yet, a bunch of magazines, and I actually stopped collecting magazines in 2016, so that's why this is so old. It's from 2 years ago, but still very pertinent. Thank you, Mark Saltzman. And Costco magazine. So many ads in Costco magazine. It's just basically an advertisement telling you what to... And that's a brainer. No, it's not. It's a no-brainer. Okay, here is what On the Media was saying. They were talking about brainers and no-brainers. No-brainer is something like... And this is... I'm not going to really get into what they were talking about because it's very hard to describe, but it basically was the sex trafficking bill that they passed to help end any attempts at sex trafficking on the internet. But they said and that's the no-brainers to stop that. And all the celebrities, Seth Meyers, the late night talk show host, and every celebrity is up there saying, yes, we need to stop that. And I think we would all agree. But then the brainer, or we actually have to think about it, that what's causing an issue is that it created and I don't know, I can't really explain this, but it made something in the internet a lot less easy for you to do. And in other words, you have less freedom on the internet than you used to. But let's see, is it here? Also on that show,
developments currently shaping markets, industry.
The internet was designed intentionally, and he says that with different rules.
Side of more censorship, it's
giving a protection to families.
Okay,
founder.
That was talking.
It's me, Michelle Vito.
Okay, Michelle Vito. Here we go. Thank you for allowing me to search for that. I'm doing that left-handed. I'm not really left-handed. And I'm trying to find it with this little mousy mouse cursor thing, and squeak, it didn't. Now I found it. Okay, so this, inside this commercial on the media, on the podcast, they have, inside the podcast, they have a commercial. And it's for a podcast that's supposed to be like a late night talk show. What a great idea. But the way this host, I just forgot her name. She just said it, and I just played it on my podcast. This is so annoying. Can I play it for you? You'll love this. Okay, check it out.
I have a new podcast you can listen to right now. It's called Late Night Whenever from WNYC Studios, and it's like a late night talk show.
All right, Late Night Whenever. Great idea. Okay, now this starts to get a little crazy here, this show. Maybe you'll think it's creative, wacky. Let me know what you think. You can call me 336MM Daily or email me mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. Okay, here we go. And let me know if you think this is the right way to advertise another podcast.
For your ears! We've got it all, honey. Monologues, a live audience, a musical sidekick, and so many celebrity guests like Bridget Everett, Leslie Odom Jr., Phoebe Robinson. You see where I'm going with this? It's a...
Wait, I don't know any of those people. Is there something wrong with me that I don't know any of those people? Okay, continue on.
Good show! You don't...
She just said it's a good show!
Want to miss it? That's Late Night Whenever. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast, but don't subscribe whenever. Subscribe now.
Yeah, I won't. But maybe you will. Somehow, I just don't think that's gonna work. It's difficult doing a podcast every day. I do it every day, and then some people have difficulties doing a podcast every week to week, which is basically you have to do if you're going to do a podcast. You got to do it week to week. Otherwise, people won't care. If you do it bi-weekly, then that's always a confusing term. Does that mean twice a week? Then that gets confusing. Or maybe you do it twice a month. That's even more confusing. That is a brainer. And okay. Now, we go to Steve Bannon as we're going outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Steve Bannon, who looks like a scary librarian cat, was ousted as White House chief strategist last summer, you may remember. He's remained in touch with some members of Trump's circle, and he is pitching a plan to cripple the federal probe into the Russian interference in the 2016 election, the Mueller investigation. And you've, of course, heard about Mueller.
Mueller.
The first step would be for Trump to fire Rod J. Rosenstein, Deputy Attorney General, who oversees the work of Mueller, and in recent days signed off on a search that was, of course, everybody's talking about. Trump's longtime lawyer, Michael Cohen, totally raided his offices and his apartment and everything. Bannon is also recommending the White House cease its cooperation with Mueller, reversing the policy of Trump's legal team to provide information to the special counsel's team. And he is telling associates inside and outside the administration that the president should create a new legal battleground to protect himself from the investigation by asserting executive privileges. And do not get interviewed by Mueller. Avoid Mueller. Aisha Champs has wanted to be a lawyer since she was 7 years old. In her teenage years, however, the odds began stacking up against her. And she got pregnant, and she ended up having 5 kids. She was homeless for a while. She dropped out of high school. Then in 2009, when she was pregnant with her 4th child, she suffered a crushing barrage of losses. In the depths of despair, she tried to commit suicide. Then a pastor told him that God told her to tell me to go back to school and get my GED. If you followed all those pronouns. Because that lawyer I wanted to be, I'll be it. And it looks like she's set to graduate from Texas Southern University's Thurgood Marshall School of Law in May. And there's a picture that's gone viral. And it's so good. Good job. You could do it. Put your mind to it. She did it. An inspiration to us all. I realized I had a revelation last night as I was in the shower that I don't think I'm as inspired to do things as, like, my ex-wife and her family. They flip houses. They pull things up by the roots and start over all the time, constantly. They reinvent themselves. My ex-wife reinvented herself after we got divorced. She met a guy, got married, has a young daughter who just turned 1, and good for her. Good, we stay friends. And I feel like all the changes in my life I was forced to do, like I was pushed through doors, and I acclimate very well to different situations. But I don't mean to talk with an uptalk at the end of every sentence that I say, but I'm just inspired. I'm inspired by people like that say, I'm going to do it. And you should too. Okay, I guess I'm out of time. I was going to get to this. Yulia Skripal, the poisoned daughter of the former Russian spy who was attacked with a nerve agent in Britain last month, she's denying help from the Russian embassy as she continues to get better after that horrible ordeal. Pope Francis admits grave error, apologizes for believing Chile sex abuse victims to calm the victims of the Catholic Church's sexual abuse scandal. And he said there were grave errors in the Chile sex abuse cases. Russia state-owned television is urging the country's residents to stock their bunkers with water and basic foodstuffs because Moscow could go to war with Washington, according to Newsweek magazine, warning that the potential conflict between the two superpowers would be catastrophic. An anchor for Russia's Vesti 24 showed shelves of food recommending that people buy salt, oatmeal, and other products that can last a long time. Okay. That's reassuring. And that's pretty much it. I think, I'm in California, we stock up water. We're always prepared for anything because of the earthquakes. So, yeah. But I'm going to be positive and hope this all works out and cooler heads prevail. Next show is going to be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the show, and I'm going to get this splinter out one way or another. And that was episode 1602. 1602.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.